You're listening to the Retina UK Talking Tech Peer Support Group meeting recorded Thursday, 11th of May 2023.
Good evening, everybody, and a very warm welcome to our second Talking Tech Peer Support Group meeting from Retina UK. My name is Mark Baxter. I'm the Information and Support Coordinator for Retina UK. To my right, I have Caroline, who's going to be helping me with answering your questions, should you put them in the comments box, and let me know who has their hand raised, should you want to ask a question or give any advice. Caroline is not only my support worker, but she's also my wife as well, which very, very proud to have her come on board with me with these group meetings. Today's group meeting is all about your interactions with a smart assistant. And what I mean by that is Google, Siri, Bixby, if you use a smart Samsung phone, and also Siri. How integrated are they into your lives? You know, do you use Alexa or Google around the home? You know, what do you control with them? Do you have any advice? You know, any pros and cons? Any little niggles that you find frustrating with any of these? Love to know your input, and really would like to just really get to know, you know, what is it that you use, how integrated you use them. You know, I talk to my phone as just as much as it talks back to me. I couldn't live without the smart assistants both in the home as well. For me personally, my Google controls thermostats. It also controls my lighting in and around the home as well. I use Bixby, which is the Samsung one, because there are certain things that Bixby can do that Samsung can't. And also I use Siri as well for my work phone. I'm going to kick this show off with a little bit of a bugbear that I have with a lot of these assistants. When using your phone and you don't have any mobile data or Wi-Fi signal, for example, you're in airplane mode, I've noticed that Bixby and Google do not work. They don't function as what you would think a smart assistant for someone that's visually impaired would work. They don't respond unless you have some sort of internet connectivity. And this is for things actually embedded into the phone. Now, I've actually spoken to a couple of you guys that have joined us this evening about this. If I wanted to ask Google, for example, what my battery level is, because I can't see the percentage on the screen and I've got no Wi-Fi signal or no data, it will not respond because it needs an internet connectivity to do that. That frustrates me. And the same with Bixby as well, which is even worse. I can't read emails that are on my phone. I can't read text messages that are on my phone. You know, I can't even do things like turn the flashlight on, or even once I've used these smart assistants that turn the Wi-Fi off or turn mobile data off, I'm putting them back on via my voice. And I find that really frustrating. Siri, on the other hand, is much, much better at allowing functionality without any kind of mobile phone data or Wi-Fi signal. And it does a lot more kind of in-function things like switch your phone on. It tells you the time. It can tell you your battery level. It can even open certain apps as well, which I find pretty remarkable. I need to know, or would like to know, if anybody else experiences this issue. You know, and you know, if you guys have got any advice for me on how to remedy this, I'll keep that off as a question. And then if anyone else has got any other questions that would like to follow on from that, then please fire away. Hi, Gordon, you got a question? Are you on mute, Gordon?
Sorry.
Yeah, you're right, Gordon.
Yeah,
sorry. Got you now.
Yeah, I think I don't have an Android, so I'm not 100% on this, but I think the issue is that the Google and Bixby go to the cloud, and if you don't have any connection, they can't get there. Siri, on the other hand, I believe, is baked into your operating system, so it will work. But that also means that because Siri is not going to the cloud, if you ask it something a bit more complicated, like a question about, I don't know, a question about some historical character or a modern actor or whatever, you will get a pretty useless answer from Siri, or no answer at all. Or it will just be, here's something I found on the web, whereas the other assistants go to the cloud, get the information and relay it to you.
Yes.
So I think it's a trade-off between having access to wider information, but not being able to use it unless you have a Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah, I totally appreciate, you know, if you've got no Wi-Fi connectivity, it's not going to be able to search the web. Totally understand, and I totally agree with that. But it's when you've got stuff that's hardwired into the phones, like anything on your system itself, or even trying to open apps, you know, they're on the phone. You know, you shouldn't have to go out from your phone to come back in to open something that's actually on your phone. That's something that I have a real bugbear, because
yeah, I can understand that, Mark. But as I say, I think it's because the Google Assistant is not baked into your phone. It actually lives on the cloud.
No,
So,
cheers for that. It's something that I'm going to try and investigate, because I don't know about you guys, but it is something you know, me personally, I'm living with RP. I've not got much site left, and I tend to utilize my phones quite a lot via the voice assistants. And when you're in an area where you've got no connectivity and no data, and you want to do simple things, your phone's rendered useless, you know. And I don't know if there's anything in the pipeline which could remedy this to give you a bit more functionality via voice control. But it's one of those things that we can all look at. And if anyone does come up with any kind of news feeds or any kind of information, please share it with me, and we'll put this in the follow-up email that will go out with the recording.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Toff. How are you?
Hi. I just wanted to ask whether it would make any difference if you had Bluetooth enabled on your phone.
I don't think that, because my Bluetooth, I use a lot of Bluetooth wireless accessories, and they're always on. So, you know, I could try that, you know, to see whether turning it off actually makes much of a difference. But it's a good piece of advice, and
okay, yeah, no,
I can try that.
Okay, and I guess it's just because with any of my interactions between my phone and my Alexa, I normally need to have Bluetooth enabled to do various things, but it's just a suggestion just in case.
Yeah, with Alexa and any of the home smart devices, yes, you will always need a Wi-Fi connection for them to work. I'm talking more of the smartphone assistants like Google on your smartphone, or Bixby. You know, they're the ones that you're using out and about, and could end up wandering into a dead zone where there are no, say for example, the London Underground. You know, you won't get any signal down there, and you won't get any Wi-Fi, but there may be something that you're on a train and you want to read your emails or something, you know, or have them read out to you without having that personal, as that smart assistant option available. You know, you can't read your text messages or anything like that you may have got just before you hit the underground, but then forgot, I haven't read that, I'll get my smart.
Actually, yes, because I'm going to look into this a little bit, because I have the same. If I don't have an internet signal, I can't use dictation.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that you can't actually use, you know, and yeah, it's something that obviously more of us are frustrated with. But thanks very much, Tofra. It's anything you find out, buddy, please let me know, and I'll share it with the group. Harry,
okay.
you've got your hand up. Hi, Harry.
Thank you. Good evening, Mark. Thank you for lowering my hand as well. I was about to do that. Like you, I live with RP. I'm going to ask the question in a slightly different way around. I've not used anything other than an iPhone, an Apple device, and I find that I can get everything done, including on the underground, reading my email. I find that if I put in, say, an AirPod or both AirPods because of the noise, I can read my emails, read my text messages. Why would I want to even consider having a Samsung phone? That's the bit that I really couldn't understand where you were coming from on that one.
Well, this is going to be a case, and I really don't want our meeting tonight to get in a death match between whether.
Oh no! I'm just wondering if I'm missing out on something. That's
no. The thing is, when it comes to mobile phones, it's a purely a personal choice of what you have your smartphone for. A lot of people swear by Apple, and before I actually started working for it in the UK, I really wasn't interested in them until I actually got one for work. But the accessibility features on an iPhone, and I'll be blatantly honest, far outweigh Samsung. Samsung is getting better. They've just launched Google Read, which is kind of like the double tap feature or the swipe down speech feature where you can actually read out web pages. But at the moment, it can only read web pages. It can't read anything like your Facebook apps or anything that's actually on the screen, unlike Siri can. So I think it's a very, very personal choice. But I've always had Samsungs because I felt that you've got more freedom with them. I prefer the user interface. But it's one of those things, you know, and not only that, with Samsung, you've got Google and Bixby. Bixby can do things that Google can't, and Google can do things that Bixby can't. So there is two ways, you know. Google can't read my emails, but Bixby can, you know. And there's it's like you say, it's that trade-off, you know. It's what is preferable to you and your accessibility needs, but I can't fault the needs from Apple. I think they're doing a cracking job, and to be honest, Samsung and Android really needs to slightly. Samantha. Hi, Samantha. Welcome. Got a question?
Please. I can't. I don't know how to. I can't see the volume on it.
Oh, we can hear you, Samantha. Oh, that's not Samantha. Oh. We've got a gentleman with the name Samantha Buck. Hello. Got your hand up. Think you might be on mute. We'll move on to the next. We'll come back to you. Cool. Hi.
Hi, this is Bakul. I think as with Harry, my experience has just been with an Apple device, an Apple iPhone, and I find them really, really helpful. I've got Apple wireless headphones called AirPods, and those are absolutely amazing. I can use them with Bluetooth. So if I want to check the battery amount, then that's just a simple thing. And the other great thing is that you can program the buttons on the AirPods, the left and the right buttons. They can do different things, like you can invoke Siri using the right button, but try and close the surrounding noise with the left button. So lots of stuff that can be done with wireless headphones, and I'm really, really happy with how it is. I can check everything on my phone without in the underground, as Harry was saying. There's no Wi-Fi, there's no mobile data. So I think I've heard so many people talking about the iPhone being more accessible for people who are visually impaired. I think that's right. Not that I've tried using a Samsung or any other Android devices, but I started with an Apple and I've stuck with it because it's just ticking all the boxes. The other thing is that sometimes costs can be an issue with an Apple iPhone, but I got an iPhone 2nd generation just last year, new, and it was, I think, £390 from the Apple store. So it's not a huge phone, which is great because it fits into my pocket, and I don't see the screen, so it doesn't matter how big the screen is.
No, what we'll do is you both have mentioned the earbuds or the AirPods, and what we'll do is we'll add them into our follow-up email. So if anybody does that's either listening to this via our YouTube channel or with joining us this evening that does use an Apple phone or an Apple device, whether it's your phone or your tablet, that is interested in looking at some new wireless headphones, then we'll put that in the link and where you can get them from the Apple store and any other retailers that may be close to you as well. So thanks very much for that piece of advice.
No problem.
Scott, welcome. You got your hand up?
I do.
Yeah.
Just a comment on the AirPods. I use them currently too. Just a suggestion. Amazon sells them, and I'm sure Apple sells them. I've got now a little wire or rubbery thing to hook into the AirPods because they are Bluetooth, so there's no cord. I did lose one on the street once, and unfortunately it went down a sewer. So you can buy these. They're £5 off Amazon. You can probably find them. You just slide your bottom part of the AirPod down through it, and then you either clip it on or So if you do drop them, they're easy to find, or they'll sort of stick out because they're on a cord again. Because they are quite expensive. And the other thing, if you do just lose one AirPod, you can purchase one. You don't have to buy a whole new set. So it's your choice whether you go and buy a replacement set. But I went into Apple here and they replaced my one. It wasn't cheap. It was about £80, 70 to £80. But it saved me from buying a whole new set at over, I forget what it would have been, 150 or 160 for a set. So anyway, I'd spend that £5. You get two of these little rubber cords that attach to the AirPods, and I usually stick the one down the front of my shirt. So if my one AirPod does come out, if you're outside, it's not going to fall to the ground where, as a completely blind man, you've got to then scramble on your knees if no one's around to help you find it.
No, that's brilliant, and sometimes it does pay to protect your tech. I personally know that money is no object. If it's something that I think it's going to benefit me, So there are these little things out there, and majority of the times, they're peanuts in relation to how much the actual tech costs. So what we'll do is we'll find those. If you've got the link that you used to buy them, or you could find the link for us and you could send that.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah,
and you can
brilliant.
Mail it out. Someone else just mentioned they got them as well. I just wish I'd got them when I wanted them. I wanted to do it, and I kept putting it off. And then one day, the mighty winds of London struck, and out went my AirPod. And I could locate it. It said find my. I had a young lady helping me, and she said, "It's got to be around here." And she said, "Did you happen to lose it near the sewer, the drain?" And I said, "Yeah, that's about exactly where it is." And she said, "Well," I never did find it, and Harry would not go down the sewer for me. So
I think nobody would want to venture down.
You know me too well, Scott.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll send that to Amazon, and I forget what their AirPod folders, but I'll actually go ask my wife. I'll mute now and go ask her what they're called, and I can send the website though.
That's smashing. Thank you very, very much for that. We'll add that to our follow-up email as well. We've still got a chap that's got his hand up under the name of Samantha Buck. I'm not sure if he realizes that he's got the incorrect name. So if you've got your hand up at the moment and you're a gentleman, you're free to ask your question.
We've got Barry and John as well.
We've got Barry and John that have also got their hands up. but we've got another gent as well that's had his hand up for quite a while that we can't seem to get through. Okay, we'll go to Barry next, and then John, and then we'll see whether we can get through to this. Thanks very much, Barry. Have you got a question or some advice for the group?
I was just going to wonder why you're using your assistant to read your emails when, I mean, on an iPhone, when I'm out, I just use VoiceOver. Or do you not use TalkBack?
Well, I use I've still got some vision, and you know, I'm at that stage where I still want to see what I'm doing, but there are certain things like reading emails where I will want to quickly zip through an email, and for the Apple phones, the swipe down, which will read anything on a page, I've done as a double tap feature on the back of the phone, which works for me. But I don't tend to use the voiceover function just yet because I can still navigate a phone.
Okay.
But it's just obviously the written word. Sometimes I can still even email to some extent, but then I'll still need Siri to read the email out for us. So you know, if I've got a long email.
What about the touch to speak feature? Have you tried that?
I think that is the one that I think it's just called speech, isn't it? I think that's what I use, and that will read out anything on a page. But that's on the iPhone. On the Samsung, I would use Bixby to, you know, I'll just actually ask it to read latest email, you know, and it, as long as it's always the latest email, it will read it, and it will read my text. Google is pretty good at reading texts as well. Not so good about writing them. But then again, Bixby, again,
okay.
Siri.
Well, I know on Android, if you download the accessibility suite, there's a touch to speak feature where it puts an accessibility icon on your screen.
Okay.
And then you basically touch the accessibility icon with your finger, then touch the area you want to speak out, and it will talk out what's underneath your finger, and then you touch the icon to switch it back off again.
Okay, and that's a Samsung feature. It has nothing to do with the Google overlay.
No. It's then if you download the accessibility suite, and it's called Touch to Speech.
Okay, I'll look into that. Yeah, if anybody else has got a Samsung phone and they're not using that touch feature, please download it, and you know, all reviews are welcome, you know, and we can discuss this next.
You don't need to be online for that because that's actually built into your phone. Then you just touch the area that you want to speak out. I mean, iPhones have a similar thing where you can have an accessibility icon on. I demonstrated it to a service user because I work for Focusburner. I demonstrated that today. How they can have an accessibility icon on their screen. So people who are losing their sight and still have some good vision to navigate the phone, they could have got the additional. Sorry, someone's putting a message on it. Let me just mute my phone. Sorry, someone's put a long message on it. It's reading it. My voiceover is going mad in my ear as well as you. Sorry. I demonstrated this today. So you have a little round icon on your screen that's an accessibility icon that you touch once, and then you can touch the area that you want to speak out loud using your using TalkBack voice, and then you turn it off by touching the little icon again. And on you can do it through the accessibility suite on your Android devices.
No, that's absolutely brilliant. I will, and that's available. Is that available on the Google Play, or is that available through the Samsung App Store itself?
You know, I think it's Google Play off the top of my head, but I can certainly get the info. I've got a handout I could send.
Brilliant. No, I appreciate that. We did send a reminder to everyone that actually come from me personally. So if you want anyone that's got any advice or any questions that they you know, want to ask, or any recommendations for apps or accessibility and voiceover functions and stuff, and please email me back. Just reply to that email, and we'll add them into the follow up. So any feedback is much appreciated, and we can't continue these peer groups without your feedback and suggestions. So that would be much appreciated. Thank you.
Hello. Hello.
John.
Oh. Hello.
Hi, Mark. Thank you. Just a couple of comments, one good and one bad about AirPods. So a few months ago, I bought the new AirPods Pro, and they've got in-ear buds, so they sit beautifully in your ear and don't fall out like the old version, which is great. But what I've noticed is that when the case flips open very easily, so a few times I've dropped the case or it's fallen on the floor, and the case automatically opens and it throws the AirPods out of the case across the floor, never to be seen again, without scrambling around trying to find them. So they've been under chairs, computer desks, and just thrown across the floor. So because there's no catch to hold the case shut. So I'm thinking of writing to Apple and suggesting that they think about making sure the case is a bit more secure. But the actual AirPods themselves, like mentioned before, fantastic with the controls, and they seem to sit in the ear and be fine.
There may be some sort of case wallet that you can actually keep the thing just in case they do fall out your pocket. At least they're going to be in a soft, maybe perhaps a zip up case or something like that. So should the case flip open, it's only going to flip open inside a zipped bag or something like that, and you won't lose them. So we can have a little research on Google to see whether there is any iPod case.
Hi, this is Baku. Can I just suggest that you put a rubber band on it?
yeah,
it's
that's
quick,
one thing.
easy, and
it
will soften the blow when
rubber
it falls
band
down.
works. Yeah,
rubber
and
bands
a bit
work
of
for a
blue
lot of
tack.
things.
A bit of blue tack works as well.
No, the blue tack will might mess up the AirPods itself, but a rubber band will be just beautiful.
Yeah, unfortunately,
that's the low tech and cheap version of doing it.
Yeah,
very good. It's a good piece of advice. That is. Yeah.
Yeah, blue tack works well as well, just to hold it shut. The problem is, of course, if you're in the process of putting them back, it's open at that point. It can fall. But yeah, it's a good point. But it'd be great if you didn't have to do that. It seems a bit of a miss on a really good design. But apart from that, fantastic.
Awesome. Thanks very much. Rubber bands, they do come in
rubber bands
for a lot of things. I've got them wrapped around my shampoo and conditioner bottles, so I know which one's which, So they do come in handy for a lot of things. We've got Topper's got his hand up again.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask a question with regard to iPhones, just to see if anyone knew how to get. So if you're, let's say, in an email, if you don't have voiceover enabled, is there an easy way of getting the screen read out to you? Because I asked this because I deal with elderly members who are visually impaired, and it might be tricky trying to explain. So they've got an iPhone, but never used voiceover, but can't really see the screen very well. They can see it enough to maybe open an app, but can't read the contents, and don't know how voiceover works. And is there an easy way of them just being able to, of someone just being able to, without voiceover, open an email and just get that email read out to them without having to then switch on voiceover, read it, and then switch it off again?
Everyone got their hands up to answer that question? Or would anyone like to answer that question?
So, hi, it's Barry.
Hi.
I think you can ask Siri to read your last email or last messages, and it will read out your last 2 or 3. Otherwise, with the accessibility icon, you can have it touch the screen, and then you drag your hand to where the text is, and they can the voiceover voice will read out what's underneath their finger, so then they can read the text.
Yep. Yeah, okay, because I think there's a text speak screen or something.
Yeah, if you go into speak screen, but you can have a little icon. You have to go deeper into that screen and open up. I don't know if I can do it on my phone to get the settings on here, but yeah, if you go into the speak screen, but then below that you've got. I'll just try and find my settings to do it while I was on the phone, but Oh.
Because just as a bit of background, I find I struggled when I first started using my iPhone just in terms of understanding VoiceOver. But once you get your head around it, it's brilliant. But I think for people that have never used VoiceOver but are interested in having stuff read out, I've been kind of stuck in terms of whether to try and get them using VoiceOver or just show them an easy way of just getting stuff read out.
Offer the speech option, which I think by default is you drag 2 fingers from the top of the screen down and it will read out anything on the screen, including what's in your email inbox and also emails you've opened up. I've reprogrammed it to use the double. I think the iPhones have a double tap and a triple tap function, and I've double tapped the back of the phone and it will read out whatever's on the screen or whatever app that I'm in, which means it's a kind of the best of both worlds. If you're not ready for VoiceOver yet, but you still need some assistance to read long emails, text messages, etc., then this is a fantastic option, and I really do wish that other mobile phone providers actually follow suit. So that could be another option. And I think it's on the accessibility section, and I think it's just called speech.
Did you say, Mark, is that on Samsung or is that on Android?
No, it's on the iPhone.
iPhone, yeah.
iPhone.
So you've got spoken content, and you can have spoken content, and then a speak button will appear when you hit text. Or you can have speak screen, and which is 2 finger swipe down from the top of the screen. And then you've got the speech controller, which is when the speech controller is the icon that you can put on the screen that stays on the screen throughout the time, and you can have it as bright or dark, as light as dark as you want. And the controller, you can choose it 2 different ways. You can have it so it brings up the speech screen thingy, so then you can play what's in front of you, or you can have it so you touch the area that you want and read out loud what you want. So there's those 2 options I would suggest.
Okay,
Siri
that's
and,
great.
and use the icon or the speech screen section.
Yep,
I was teaching an 81-year-old today how to use it, so
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I'll practice on my own, and then next time I'm out and someone needs some help, I'll do that. I just wanted to ask just one quick thing. Mark, you mentioned that you changed the controls, so rather than doing swipe, you changed it to another gesture. How do you go about changing the gestures so that it reacts to a different gesture than the preset?
That's a really good question. I think there is an option. I don't think it's actually under accessibility. It's one of the options. I think it's just called double tap or triple tap. And when you go into double tap, it will give you a list of options of what you can open or function with the double tap option. And then you just select which one you want. So you could double tap and it would open your emails, or you could double tap and it would turn your flashlight on. But I've actually got it to enable the speak option and starts off. It's a bit frustrating to turn it off. So what I tend to do is just scroll up. So I've got the iPhone 13 Pro, scroll up to the home screen, double tap it again, and it will say no written content on this page, and it kind of turns itself off. Otherwise, because the little dashboard it's got a tiny little button that disappears, and it's like I've got mine in high contrast mode, and it's a very, very dark grey on black, and I can't see it. But the play, pause, and speed of the voice function disappears after a few seconds. So unless you want to keep that open all the time, it will disappear. So I literally my brother told me it's because he's an iPhone fanatic and he's visually impaired as well, and he told me that's the best way of getting rid of it. It's just you swipe up your home page, double tap again, and it just says nothing can be read on this page. So I can find out for you, Tofra, and I can ping you an email with how to set that up if you wish. Not a problem.
Hi, Mark. Sorry, again, it's Barry. Sorry. Tofra,
Okay.
are you asking how to change a gesture on because you can have your customized gestures to do different things. So you can do that in VoiceOver and commands, and there's all commands or touch gestures. So in there you can change the touch gesture. So there's an option to have a 4-finger swipe up, and because I find it difficult to touch the top of the screen and then find which is the control panel, which is notifications, I've nominated a 4-finger swipe up to take me straight to than my notifications. So there's all different gestures in there that are available if you struggle with the swipes and things like that. So you can customize your own gestures in commands in VoiceOver.
Excellent. That's awesome. What we could do is, if anyone has got any step-by-step guides that they've got floating around that they wish to share, I can attach these to the follow-up email as well, so people have got step-by-step guides of how to set their iPhones up to make them more accessibility friendly when it comes to VoiceOver and using Siri to speak the spoken word, and also to listen to as well. So, but thanks very much for that. Yeah. It's much appreciated.
Mark, it's Scott. I'll send you seven links to accessibility to VoiceOver, and some of them are on YouTube. Some are in the VoiceOver. Actually, when you start it, there's actually a quick tutorial. Learn how to use the easy functions right in the VoiceOver. I think it's actually the first thing when you tap on VoiceOver, it's the first thing there, I believe. So, but I'll send that on to you. The gentleman before, as far as gestures and stuff, you're getting into more, I won't say it's difficult, but more advanced stuff for if you're teaching elderly people and just easy gestures. You'll want to start really, it's a bit frustrating, but you want to take baby steps at first and just get used to easy stuff and get onto your emails and double swipe down to read, like you said, because you don't even have to do it from the top. You can do it from find where the message starts and swipe down and then double tap to stop it, and you can start it again from that point. So, but again, the gentleman that's teaching the 81-year-old or elderly people, I would learn the easy gestures and just get them how to turn on and off VoiceOver, and one step at a time. So, but I'll send those 7 sites that I have.
That'll be much appreciated. You know, the more information that we can pass on would be much appreciated. I feel a few more of the Stylus community that I've met use Apple devices, and it goes for the iPads as well. You know, more than Samsung or Android devices. So any information you've got, appreciating. That's for anyone that's got any advice or any how-to guides, walkthroughs, ups, that would be much appreciated. I can share this with our community.
Could I concur with what Scott has said? I think it is important to get anybody you're trying to teach, no matter what their age, to get just the basics under their belts. Because I mean, I remember when I way back, it's probably 8-10 years ago, I spent the last 20 years of my working life with the RNIB, and the first thing, you know, anybody who was going to get issued with an office phone, it was going to be an iPhone, but God, did it take me a while to get my head around how to use it to begin with. It is frustrating. There's no point in pretending otherwise. I actually think that in the control panel, there's actually an area for practicing gestures that you can use, so that you're not actually doing it for real, but it's taking you through how to do it's like a tutorial that's built into the phone. And I think that's probably worth doing, because somebody then gets the hang of it. And I think that is vitally important. Because I would agree with what Scott said. You know, after a minute, after a little bit of practice, the 2-fingered swipe down, it'll read whatever's on screen. So if that's an email or whatever, and that will work. The way I've got mine set up is a 3-finger. I use the SE 2022 as my base, my phone. It's modern, but it doesn't have the estate of, say, the 13 that I heard somebody mention. Don't need a big screen because you can't see it anyway. I have the screen curtain on all the time, so that you know, doesn't matter what's on the screen, can't see it. But 3-finger tap on the home button, because that phone still has the home button, and everything comes off. So if I need some sighted help from, say, my wife or someone like that, 3 fingers on the home button, and it takes it back to a normal iPhone, and that can be helpful if you're teaching and you have sight. So that's a fairly simple one. The other thing, people were talking about the tapping the back of the phone. That's fine as long as you don't have a case on the phone. I think if you've got I think if you have a case on it, I'm not sure that functions. I've never tried because I always have a case to protect the phone.
That's a very, very good question, and I do have, where's my phone? I do, if you can see that, I do have quite a rugged case with the strong function, and I can swipe up and then double tap, and it's a very, very strong case, and I was fascinated when I found out that it actually still worked on the back of a phone. Otherwise, I would be in trouble because I'm dropping my phone all the time, and won't be too impressed if I actually break it. So
so the double tap on the back of the phone works even with a case?
Yeah,
and the
quite a rugged
and
case
the triple,
as well.
yeah, and the triple, Harry.
I'll talk to you about that separately, Scott. I'll talk to you about that separately.
Okay. The only thing I will caution everyone with the double and the triple tap is sometimes people will experience just bumping the phone, and it'll trigger it, even though you might not have thought you did the triple or double tap. But for the most part, it works fine.
Okay. I'll give you a call. Could I just have one last request, because I'm going to have to go. Lots of people have been posting what could be quite useful links in the chat. Would you be kind enough, Mark, to add those into the follow-up email? I still haven't mastered Zoom to the extent of being able to pull those out.
No, absolutely. As we're recording, it does actually send the transcript to me, so I can actually pull all of that off and add any comments, links, etc., that people have been kindly putting into the comment box into the follow-up email. So it's much appreciated.
Thank you.
We do have a little bit of time. I don't know if anyone wants to discuss the smart assistants, you know, your Alexas and your Googles, and if anyone has any other smart devices that they use, or any other smart talking apps that they may use instead of the ones that are built into the phones. I know a lot of people use something called Louis Voice. I'm not sure if you've heard of that, but that's had some very, very good reviews, very good for things like WhatsApp and other functionality, but not sure if anyone actually uses any others. Or
could you repeat the name of the one you've just mentioned, please?
It's called Louis Voice, and it's developed by a chap called Pramit over in India, and it's a bit frustrating if you wanted to have it as your default assistant, because there are certain things it can't do. But if you just have it to use for things like WhatsApp, and it's very clever because you can shake your phone and it wakes it up, and then it will actually navigate all of your groups, all of your chats, and then it will actually go into it. And it's very clever because it'll actually read your WhatsApp messages in reverse. So say, for example, you're in a group chat and sometimes you miss the before you actually get to the punchline, it will actually do it in reverse, so you never actually miss any content. I thought it was actually quite clever, and then it's still kind of in its beta stages. I'm constantly getting updates from Pramit as to check out new videos that he's posting on YouTube, but it's definitely worth looking out if you do have frustrations with WhatsApp and you use WhatsApp as well.
Thank you.
Gordon,
this is Bakul. This is Bakul, and I use WhatsApp, and I use the iPhone voiceover for that, and it works beautifully.
Yeah, I've never had any problems using WhatsApp on the iPhone either. I think it's very, very good.
Also, I get a bit nervous when people would ask me to shake my phone. It goes to another device that can then read my messages. Also, there's one functionality on the iPhone that if you shake your phone, it undoes the last step. And I quite like that as a step. So whether it's a message you've deleted or something you want to undo, it just does it, undoes it. And that's when you shake the phone.
Oh, that's a clever piece of advice. Thank you very much for that. I'll look into that as well. If we've always deleted an email or a text message or something like that we shouldn't have done. So it's good that you've got this undo function on it. So
yeah,
absolutely brilliant.
I'd forgotten that one, Bakul. Thank you.
You're welcome, Harry.
Gordon's got his hand up. Hi, Gordon.
Hi. Yeah, we were talking about smart assistants earlier on. Just 2 points, and people may know these already. But Siri was misbehaving on a lot of iPhones and giving bizarre answers or saying it couldn't understand. And the trick apparently is that after you invoke Siri, either by voice or by pressing the button on your phone or whatever, you should just wait a second before you speak, because apparently the hearing doesn't kick in straight away as soon as you hear that tone. You have to wait a second or two before you speak. I suspect most people have figured that out by now, but I recently met some sighted people who were struggling with Siri and couldn't understand why it was giving stupid answers to the requests, and they were just basically pressing the button, hear the sound, and talking straight away. If you wait just a second, say inside your head, just say, "Hey Siri" again, and it should work. The other thing was on the A-Lady smart devices. If you've got one, I recently discovered I'd had a couple of smart plugs before, and they were quite difficult to set up. I had to get sighted help. Excuse me. But Amazon's own smart plugs, if you order one, I think they're about £25. They may have gone up since I bought mine. When you order it, you can tick a button in the order saying, "Please link this to my Amazon account before you ship it to me." So when it arrives, you simply plug it in and it connects to your account and to your Wi-Fi system, and you're away. It's great. So those plugs that are in a difficult position to reach that you might have to turn off. I've got a Sky Q box, which occasionally needs to be reset, but reaching the plug is a nightmare. You're behind the TV and all the wires and things. And now I just tell the A-Lady, turn the Sky box off, and she does it, because it's into a smart plug. So the Amazon's own smart plugs, very, very easy to set up.
If you what I'll do is, if you've got the link for that, I know there's a lot of people that use X's and a lot of people that enjoy the smart plug functionality as well. And what we'll do is we'll find that one and we'll add that. I'm sure that would be a great asset to a lot of us that that like having our lights switched on and off, and other devices as well that are in that hard to reach place.
Yeah, it's far and away the easiest smart plug I've encountered.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you very much. Barry, hi Barry, got a question.
Yeah, hi there. I was thanks, Gordon. That was Gordon, that was really helpful, because I was about to buy some. So it's we're Amazon here. So yeah, that's great help. Thank you. I was just wondering. I mean, I've got Hive heating, so it's attached to my Wi-Fi and my Alexa. I was wondering how you said you got your heating is attached to your Google. I was wondering how much additional work. So I had to have a Hive hub, a wireless thermostat, and obviously an attachment to the boiler. So I was just wondering how much work had to go into having your heating system put in with your Google heating system.
So I use I've got Nest, which obviously now part of Google.
Yeah.
And when they installed it, they needed to put the little wireless device on. So the old Honeywell thermostat come off, and they programmed and it was actually an engineer that was coming to service our boiler. I asked him, "Would you mind adding this on?" And he took the old like a hub thing that sits underneath the boiler that tells the boiler what to do. But in terms of setting it up, it was literally just really, really short and sweet. In the Google app, the Google Home app is really, really easy to master. And so, I just went into it. It automatically recognizes that there is a Google device that's ready to be paired or waiting to be paired. And it will actually just sync it, sign it up. And now I can turn the heating on, turn it off, change the temperature, etc. It's really clever. You mentioned smart plugs. The system that I use in my home to control a lot of things is a company called Energenie, and they've got a range called My Home, and that's spelled MI-Home. It's again by a company called Energini. That controls a hub which sits into my router, but then that controls absolutely everything from lighting to smart switches, smart plugs. I don't know if you can see. We've probably blurred out, but I've got,
I can't. But
yeah, no, sorry. I fault of habit. I can't see the light switch, but behind me, I've actually got a smart switch that's actually embedded into the wall. You know, it just replaces the standard light switch. You can still press it on and off with your finger, but it will also control the lights that are up on the wall, and the same front and back for outside lighting as well. Or I can actually just say turn on living room lights, and it will turn. I've got them synced again through Google. It will turn all the lights on that are in that room. It's a good setup. It took me a while to do, but I'm constantly adding to it. You know, especially at Christmas time when all the lights go up for Christmas. It's so handy just to say turn on all the Christmas lights and then.
Oh yeah. I mean, I do the same with our stuff. I mean, the boys have got lights in their rooms that we can switch on and off and do different colors and stuff, which they really like. They really enjoy. But yeah, no, I wondered how much extra additional was. You've got a hub as well, so obviously you've got a Hive hub that goes into the router, and then everything. So it's all very similar. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's, you know, I looked at Hive and I looked at the Google Nest, and it was only the fact that we were at a trade show and they were doing a really good deal on the Nest thermostat. You know, and if you buy a Nest thermostat, then you get a discount on the Nest Protect Wi-Fi smoke alarms. And they all link together. So if the heating's on and the smoke alarms detect smoke, then they tell the thermostat to turn the heating off, you know, just to try and prevent further damage to your house. So it's all good stuff. And people that you know, smart devices are making my life too lazy or anything like that. They don't. They just make my life a lot simpler. You know, that you can do things voice controlled. And I think it's going to be the wave of the future. There's going to be so much more things that we can control by our voices.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Mark, it's Scott. If you have the password for your kids that are living in your house in Canada, you can control the heat from here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my daughter, who will be 30, has figured out that I had that control and has taken me out of the package, so I don't have the control.
No, you can't play tricks on them. Turn their lights on and off and everything. Gradually turn their thermostat up.
Well, no, I don't want it up. That costs money. Then and they're not paying enough rent to me. So I was turning it down, and then she got on. She said, "Dad, you're freezing us out. Minus 20 out today." So anyway, yeah.
Right, back on top of it
It is a couple of minutes past 8, but we're happy to answer a couple more questions. Guys want to stick around. So Tofra.
Yeah, I just
Baku, sorry.
Just a very quick point about Siri. You can activate Siri to respond with the thing saying, "Hey Siri," but I think that means the phone is listening out for that command all the time. You can actually turn that off so that it only responds to when you press the home button, or if you're using AirPods, you press the button on the AirPod so that it starts Siri. And when you do that, you don't need to say, "Hey Siri." So I've programmed my Siri to respond in that manner, and it's just kind of nice not to have to say, "Hey Siri."
That's brilliant. I have Siri. I say, "Hey," I want to say, "Hey yes," but when I say, "Hey," if you like, I can subscribe. There we go. If I say, "Hey G," it will kick off my phone, it will kick off my tablet, it will kick off my home device as well. And it will be nice to actually be able to rename each device to a different name. So, you know, if I want to speak to my phone, I say, "Hey phone," and it only responds to my phone, and other devices, you know, are left alone. But the fact is you can't rename Siri or Google or Bixby. They are what they are. Which is a bit of a shame. That's why it's good that I've actually got an iPhone for work, because if I've got a Samsung for work as well, they'll all be going off and they'll all be trying to take control. But no, it's a good point.
Yeah, that's why I've got mine not to respond to Hey Siri. I don't. It actually, I switch it off.
No, I personally like to have mine off. Do you want to know how to turn it off? Oh,
Yeah,
you've
just
got
use
yours turned
the
off.
so you just I use activate Siri using the button on my AirPod,
No, that's-
or if yeah, or press the home button, and it'll start it up.
That's cool. I prefer to. I might be the only one, but I like to talk to it, and I like when it responds. So, but it's good. It's good to know that it's you can still activate it through your Wi-Fi, your Bluetooth headphones as well. Right. We've only got a few minutes, and I've got a few announcements to make as well. So we've got Tofra. Hi Tofra, thanks very much.
Hi, I just wanted to quickly ask, what exactly is a smart plug and what's the benefit of having a smart plug?
Oh.
Would
you like to answer that one?
Barry?
Would you like to answer that one? You've got smart plugs.
It's Barry. Can you hear me? Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Well, the reason I was going to get a smart plug is because all my electricals for my TVs are behind the cabinet. So, like I've got my DVD player, my TV, my son's got his Xbox or device plugged in at the back there. So at night I can just tell it, without trying to climb behind the telly, I can just say switch off the power to that, and then you're saving energy, because instead of 3 or 4 devices that sit there on standby, you've just got the one Wi-Fi plug. So
okay, yep. Thanks for that.
No, I mean, that's the only thing I would use it for. Maybe some people might have a lamp. A lamp. Some people might have a lamp that they switch on that is only operated by the plug, so they could switch it on through that. But yeah, there's not. I don't think there's a lot of uses, to be honest. But yeah, that's just one reason why I was going to get them.
Yeah,
I think it is a good security feature. If you're away and to turn the lights on, you can do it from outside of the home. Just to give you that little. I think it sometimes could be just a mind thing that you can keep an eye on your home. It's the same as having indoor and outdoor smart cameras. Just an eye on things. Or we've got a smart camera that if we're about and the dogs start kicking off, we can actually keep an eye on them. It's got a barking sensor on it, so it will send us an alert when there's barking going on. We check the feed, they're kicking off at the postman, and we can actually flick some treats out of the camera, which distracts them and keeps them quiet. So there's loads of little smart things out there that you can do to just protect your home, protect your loved ones, and it could be just as simple, like you say, as simple as switching on a lamp.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you can put timers on some of them for your lamps. So if you want your lamp to go on, you're on vacation for a week, you want it to go on. And you can do it in multiple places in the home. So you switch the area where the light goes on. There's all kinds. If you look into smart stuff, there's all kinds of stuff now that you can function, as Mark said, with them.
It's pretty endless, the amount of companies out smart tech. When you're trying to search for the device that you've got and you're listening, you think some of these weird names, I wonder what they do, and I wonder what they do. It's pretty scary, but I think for someone that's living with a sensory disability, I think it is going to be the wave of the future. Of you doing as many things as we can, where we don't have to rely on touch so much, and we can rely more on our voice to do things. And I don't even have to go into the app for half the things. I can just communicate to Google and say, Google, do this, do that, and bosh, it does it. Sometimes not immediately, but she does get the message at the end of the day, So, but yeah, it's more interesting stuff to come, which leads me onto a few announcements from Retina UK, what's coming up. So if you guys are interested in our peer support group meetings, we do have a few coming up in May. So if you are joining us from Belfast, we do have a lovely coastal walk followed by afternoon lunch on the 25th of May. We also have, if you're joining us from Oxford, we do have a museum visit in Oxford Museum, which is the Ashmolean, starting at 10:30, and that's on the 25th as well. And we also, if you're joining us from the West Midlands, come join our West Midlands facilitator for an online meeting, and that is going to be from 7 p.m. on the 23rd of May. We do also have a webinar next Thursday evening at 7 p.m. and we've got a remarkable hairstylist that is visually impaired, and they're going to talk to you about how you can keep your hairstyle in shape and how to brush it, everything like that. So that's something that you're interested in. Please come and join us along for that webinar next Thursday evening. Moving into June, we have our professional and annual conference on the 23rd, which is our professional conference, and our annual conference is on the 24th. And they're held in London this year, and it's going to be at our University of Westminster campus, which is the Marylebone side of the campus, and it's just opposite Madden Tussauds. And we are hosting a session around Tech of Tomorrow, and there is a piece of assistive tech which I'm very proud to be the implementation lead on, and it's groundbreaking, futuristic stuff, and I'm really, really proud to be a part of this project. And that's outside of RET in the UK. I'm working with a team of startup engineers and robotics engineers that are out of the Imperial College London, and they're working on this fantastic mobility aid. So if you want to come and learn more about that, they're in the stage where they can actually show off, showcase this piece of tech. Please come and join us in person if you can. Come and meet the team, but we're also going to be streaming it live via the internet as well. So please jump onto our website under our events page and sign up to either or both of the conferences if you're interested in finding out what is going on at RET in the UK in regards to research and other news and events that's coming up. We would love to have you join us. And finally, towards the end of June, if you're interested in our national peer group and you've never taken on an experience day, either behind the wheel in a race car or a supercar around the track, or you've never had your hand at flying an aeroplane or any type of other experience days, please join us, as I'm going to be speaking to the founder of a company called AbleNet, and his name is Paul First, and he's going to be talking about why he set AbleNet up and what experience days you can take on. I personally did a flying lesson a couple of weeks ago, and it was just one of the most amazing experiences that I've ever done, and I've done a few, so it was great to sit in a cockpit, which I never thought I would get the opportunity to do. So please come and join us for that as well. All of these information will be available in our follow-up email, including the recording for this evening. Any questions, then please feel free to email me, and please keep feedback coming regarding tonight's meeting. We had some fantastic feedback from the first meeting. That feedback coming both positive and negative. We can't keep these meetings going without your support and without your comments, so it's much appreciated. If anyone hasn't got any final questions, then I'll let you guys get on with the rest of your evening. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you in July for our next tech session. So good evening, good night everyone, and do wish you all the best.
Thanks, Mark.
No worries. You guys all take care. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
More than welcome. Take care.
Thanks, Mark. It's Barry. Thank you.
No worries. You're welcome, Barry. Thanks very much for all your comments, questions, and advice, everyone. Again, that's it's very, very much appreciated.
Come Come and join us and meet the Retina UK team at our 2023 Professionals and Annual Conference held this year in London at the University of Westminster, Marylebone campus opposite Madame Tussauds on Friday the 23rd and Saturday the 24th of June. More information and how to register is available on our events page on our website. Thanks very much for your support. We look forward to seeing you there. We hope you have enjoyed this recording. If you have any questions, queries, or wish to leave any feedback, then please leave it in the comment section below. Alternatively, you can send your inquiries to info@retinauk.org.uk. Contact us via the telephone on 01280 821 334 or call our helpline on 0300 111 4000, which is open Monday to Friday 9:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. If you would like to know more about our local peer groups, when your next meeting will be held, or if you wish to get involved in creating your own group, or would like to know more about our services that Retina UK provides, then please visit our information and support page on our website www.retinauk.org.uk and navigate to our local peer group page. Thanks again for listening. We hope to see you again soon. Take care and bye for now.